Man, nothing's worse than really wanting to find that amazing item that you've been looking for forever, and then it looks like this.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
But for other items, it can be the exact opposite effect, so that's what we're looking at today. Which items do you actually want to roll as Ethereal in Diablo 2 Resurrected? Let's get after it. I'm not going to spend a crazy lot of time on each item because after putting this list together, kind of didn't even realize it when I first thought about it, but there's actually a ton of items that you would really like to go Ethereal. So I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of what they are and why it's good for those items to be Ethereal. So first we'll look at rune word bases, so socketed items that you want to be Ethereal. And the first one, probably the most obvious that everyone's most acquainted with, or open socketed pole arms. Now these of course used for your infinity and earlier on even for your insight for your Act 2 mercenaries. Also along the same lines, it could be ethereal spears now because you can actually make infinity in these spears. The one that you actually want to have that some people will say is the best option for your Act 2 mercenary is actually the ethereal man catcher. The argument's made due to the incredible amount of attack speed that this item has. You can then proc crushing blow more often on your Act 2 mercenary that increases the damage per second. So next we'll look at armors, and that's going to be 3 and 4 socketed ethereal armors. For the 3 socketed armors, you're going to use that as a budget option for your Act 2 mercenary, or really any of the mercenaries now, but you can put a treachery in that to get that fade to hopefully proc on your mercenary, and also for the 45 increased attack speed. Now with the 4 socketed armors, you use those in order to make fortitude. It's kind of the best in slot for the Act 2 mercenary, or you could also use that on the Act 5 mercenary as well. With the ethereal version, you get a ton of defense, and of course with that rune word, you get a bunch of enhanced damage along with all res and some other stuff too. So another option for those Act 2 mercenary weapons is actually 5 open socketed spears and pole arms, because now with the new patch with the ladder coming out, you can actually make obedience in spears now as well. Now you want this to be ethereal, obviously, to increase the damage, and if you didn't know, I didn't mention it yet already, but ethereal items do not lose durability when they're equipped on your mercenary. Obedience is a great option to get a bunch of damage on your Act 2 mercenary. It's got crushing blow along with a lot of other things, and putting it in one of these elite ethereal bases is going to have you a crazy amount of damage from your Act 2 mercenary. Now this one right here is one of the big dogs. It's one of the best shields you can get for your paladin if you're running something like a smiter, and that's going to be exile. Now for these, you're hoping to find an ethereal paladin shield, hopefully with a bunch of all res inherently on the base. Now this does actually go on your character, and you're thinking, well, you're going to lose durability, but this rune word actually has repair durability, and it's 1 per 4 seconds, so that's never going to run out on you. Putting this rune word in a excellent paladin ethereal base that has a huge high all res is an incredible rune word to have on that paladin. So the next one you're going to be searching for is for 4 open socketed axes, swords, or maces, and that's going to be to put the rune word oath in. Now this is one of the rare times in Diablo 2 Resurrected where you make a rune word. It does not include a Zod, but you actually get indestructible on that weapon. Along with it getting that damage boost from being ethereal, this rune word actually can have up to 340% enhanced damage. Unfortunately, the minimum roll on the enhanced damage is quite low, so there could be quite a variety in there, but this can still be a great budget option for your characters, and it doesn't really take any high runes. The highest thing you need is a maul. Now there is of course the big dog rune word. We're talking about Breath of the Dying, which you can make in any weapon. So if you're going to make it in any of these melee weapons, do not make it in a standard one. You're going to want to search for these 6 socketed bases to be ethereal. That damage is going to be crazy high with up to 400% enhanced damage. Another rune word that you're going to be searching for that ethereal base is going to be the rune word death. Now this does not take a Zod, but it actually gets indestructible on it, so this is another one that you never are going to want to put in a standard base. This is one I kind of call a mid-range budget. It does take a Vex rune in it, but getting indestructible, getting that crazy high enhanced damage on a weapon, this is a great option for those that can't get that Zod to make Breath of the Dying, or find that low rune to get yourself a grief. There's a ton of these uniques actually now that I look at it, so I'm going to try to go quick here. First, we're going to go with Ethereal Sandstorm Tricks. You get all the good stuff that does come on them, and once again, this actually has the repair durability mod on it, so it'll never break on you. Next up is Ethereal Reaper's Toll. You're not going to use this on your normal character, but this is a great option to put on an Act 2 mercenary. That way, if you're running any sort of melee characters, your mercenary will be proccing Decrepify. It will eliminate any physical immunes, and that way you can take out any monster in the entire game. And it will also have a large amount of damage output because it's ethereal. Next one, once again, is going to be an item that goes towards your mercenary, and that's an Ethereal Guardian Angel. Once again, that's boosting up your defense a ton on your mercenary, and the Guardian Angel is known for increasing the maximum resistances that you or your mercenary have, increasing hopefully the survivability as well. Here's one for the new patch that used to be complete garbage. Now with the boost to the Act 5 mercenary, you want to find yourself an Ethereal Head Striker. So the damage doesn't look all that impressive here, but actually that chance for Deadly Strike gives it double damage whenever that proc, and being based on the character's level, you're going to be proccing Deadly Strike every single time. Next up, we'll come at you with a classic one, and that is Ethereal Titans. So that's going to boost up the physical damage from those javelins, but it also has replenished quantity, so you will once again never run out of these javelins. So this one is one of my favorites, and that's an Ethereal Andaro's Visage. This is a go-to for a long time on those Act 2 mercenaries. It has a ton of things with the life leech, with the strength, with the increased attack speed, and then of course being ethereal boosts up that defense a ton. Coming in with another absolute classic here, and that is the Ethereal Skulders. This is a go-to known for its amazing magic find, and also has a repair durability. So once again, like a lot of them on the list that have this, you're not going to run out of durability. It's never going to break on you. So this is an overlooked one. I never really do a lot of throw barbs, I suppose, but that is an Ethereal Lacerator. There could be a bunch of these ethereal items now that you get replenished quantity based upon the throw mastery on the Barbarian, but Ethereal Lacerator is an absolute classic for the throw barbs. You pretty much had to have this to make a throw barb viable before. And of course, this has replenished quantity on it, just like the Titans, so they should never run out on you. But also, yeah, do keep in mind, a lot of these ethereal throwing weapons, now with the way the throwing mastery works, they should not be running out of quantity on you anyways. Now we'll come at you with the Ethereal Duriel Shell. This is going to be one that you put on your mercenary. It really does help out survivability, and actually in a way can help the damage output because this item cannot be frozen on it. So if your Act 2 mercenary isn't frozen, then he can attack faster and deal more damage. Along with that, it comes with strength, so maybe it'll make it easier for you to equip your Ethereal CV if that ends up being the only base you can find early on. And it also has a bunch of resistances on it. And now we'll fly in with an awesome one for those Fury Druids, and that's the Ethereal Ribcracker. Now you are going to have to Zod this, but because of the attack speed and the crushing blow on it, and then with the incredibly high minimum damage that comes on the Ribcracker, this is a great option for those Fury Druids. So just recently, YouTube cut the ad revenue on videos by 1/3. So if you want to support the channel, make it possible for me to keep making videos and streaming here, make sure you go down below and become a member. That's the only surefire way to make sure that us content creators can really keep making content here on YouTube for you. So peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.